Maybe it's the movies, maybe it's the books, maybe it's the bullets, maybe it's the real crooks.
Maybe it's the drugs, maybe it's the parents, maybe it's the colors everybody's wearing.
Maybe it's the president, maybe it's the last one, maybe it's the one before that, what he done.
Maybe it's the high schools, maybe it's the teachers, maybe it's the tattooed children in the bleachers.
Maybe it's the Bible, maybe it's the lack, maybe it's the music, maybe it's the crack.
Maybe it's the hairdos, maybe it's the TV, maybe it's the cigarettes, maybe it's the family.
Maybe it's the fast food, maybe it's the news, maybe it's divorce, maybe it's abuse.
Maybe it's the lawyers, maybe it's the prison, maybe it's the senators, maybe it's the system.
Maybe it's the fathers, maybe it's the sons, maybe it's the sisters, maybe it's the moms.
Maybe it's the radio, maybe it's the road rage, maybe El Nino or UV rays.
Maybe it's the army, maybe it's the liquor, maybe it's the papers, maybe the militia.
Maybe it's the athletes, maybe it's the ads, maybe it's the sports fans, maybe it's a fad.
Maybe it's the magazines, maybe it's the internet, maybe it's the lottery, maybe it's the immigrants.
Maybe it's the taxes, big business, maybe it's the KKK and the skinheads.
Maybe it's the communists, maybe it's the Catholics, maybe it's the hippies, maybe it's the addicts.
Maybe it's the art, maybe it's the sex, maybe it's the homeless, maybe it's the banks.
Maybe it's the clear cut, maybe it's the ozone, maybe it's the chemicals, maybe it's the car phones.
Maybe it's the fertilizer, maybe it's the nose rings, maybe it's the end.
But I know one thing.
If we're up to me, I'd take away the guns. I'd take away the guns. I'd take away the guns.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. I'm Rod MacDonald, along with Raymond Misek. I'm one of the two co-producers of tonight's concert. We're glad you could join us, and though I usually blather on for quite some time, so giving people time to sign in, tonight we're going to try to keep my remarks a little shorter because we have some folks waiting overseas to play, and it's getting kind of late over there. So I'm going to try to be briefer than normal. But in tonight's concert, you're going to see Robin and Linda Williams, Jack Williams, Joziah Longo, Joe Crookston, Stella Prince, Seth Glier, Neshama Carlebach, Steve Tilston, Declan O'Rourke, and Daniel Cainer. And our first three artists tonight are all coming our way from the other side of the Atlantic, and we're really excited to have them. Before we get started, let me just mention a couple people that we want to thank for their work in getting us to this point. Our sound technicians, Brandon O'Sullivan and Greg Greenway. Round of applause. Thank you very much. Our webmaster, Jerry Kornbluth, and Andrea Klosky, who maintains our website from the perspective of the performers. I also want to mention thanks to Hudson Harding Productions for the video that you just saw of If It Were Up to Me. That's a 20-year-old song by Cheryl Wheeler. It's no less relevant now than it ever was, no doubt. And that particular video was organized by Hudson Harding Music and Eric Balke, and the music produced by Joe Crookston, and the video produced by Neil Eckstein. It contains quite a few artists. I'm in there myself, and I'm not going to name them all. I don't even have the list in front of me, but you can find that video on YouTube and Facebook if you want to go back and see it. Quite a powerful song. And just as a self-congratulatory moment, I want to mention that as of today, I have published my second novel. It just happened. It's, in fact, I got this copy about an hour ago. It's not even available for sale yet, so I'm not trying to get you to buy it, but at some time in the future, it'll be out. It's not a music novel. It's hard to describe what it is, but it's not a continuation of my previous book, The Open Mic. I think that pretty much covers it. We have a wonderful evening of music ahead. Yes, I have to mention one other thing. This is a free concert. The Greenwich Village Folk Festival is a 501c3 nonprofit under the laws of the United States and state of New York. However, we do appreciate donations from you folks if you can spare anything, and we share virtually all of those donations with the people who actually do the work here and the artists. So if you want to support the artists you're seeing tonight, donating is a good way to go. There are two ways to do that. On any of the sites that you're seeing this on, there's probably a link. One is too long for me to remember, and one is paypal.me/GVFF2020. Both of them will work. The longer one is preferable from our point of view because PayPal doesn't take any fees out. That is our official charitable donation link. So if you can spare something tonight, we appreciate it, and almost all of it will go to the performers you're seeing. So if you can afford to be generous, thank you very much. With that in mind, I'd like to introduce our co-MCs for the evening. Ron Olesko is the director of folkmusicnotebook.com, 24-hour internet broadcaster of folk music, and they are streaming this show live. So if you're listening to us on folkmusicnotebook.com, your director is one of our host MCs. And our second MC is, of course, Christine Lavin, who probably needs no introduction from me, but let me just say how much we are always thrilled to have Christine be with us. Brilliant performer and songwriter, and a wonderful person who has helped so many of us in our own work. And Christine's going to start off the concert by introducing our first artist tonight. So take it away, Christine.
Well, thank you, Rod. You didn't give us the title of your book.
It's called The American, and I have to say it this weird way, Guerrillas, because it's not gorillas, it's guerrillas. Yes. It's kind of a adventure novel. It's I just can't even describe it, but it's kind of a thrill. I began writing it in the late 1970s, actually, and thought I had finished it about, 5-10 years ago, but it was all on paper. It was all typed on paper, which of course is useless in this day and age, and so I had to find software and read it into a computer and then do an actual editing job before it could be published.
Well,
but thanks for asking, Christine.
Maybe it'll become a musical. There's so many great writers here tonight.
You know what? That would be an incredible thing if that ever were to happen.
Well, we'll work on it. By the way, I just have to apologize. I live next to the Manhattan Bridge, and the subway goes by every couple of minutes. But it's a subway that just came from West 4th Street, which is a mile away. So think of it as street music from Greenwich Village that we can all sing to. And I get to introduce our first performer. The first three are coming to us live from Europe. And one of the great things about the folk scene is that when singer-songwriters or folk singers meet somebody who's just beyond talented.
Yes, I'm muted.
That's beyond talented. The first thing they do is tell everybody about them. And we want to thank Hillary Rollins out in Santa Monica for telling us about this first performer tonight. He has done 5 limited runs in residence at the Soho Playhouse in New York City. For 15 years, he's been one of the most popular performers at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. And back in the 1980s, he came in second in a national final for UK Folk News Search for the Stars. He was 15 years old and he came in second. God knows where he would be if he had actually won the competition. But he's been writing all these years. I've seen his show 8 times. I've seen it 7 times in New York and once in California, in Los Angeles. And I just think that he's one of the absolute best you're ever going to meet in your life, and you're going to get to hear him live, all the way from London, England. Please welcome Daniel Cainer.
Welcome to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. I expect you're wondering what I'm gonna rhyme with words like those. Well, my apologies, but tonight I feel like a bit of an old vegetable, too misshapen for the shelves of Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, yet still nutritious and delicious if you shut your eyes and hold your nose. Come to think of it, folk music's like a carrot or an onion or a spud. This is a spud, it's English for potato. Spud. It's a gift from God that just needs excavating from the mud. Uncommercial and unvarnished, without mirrors, without smoke. And everyone that makes it is perpetually broke. Now it's time that we got on with it. Without further ado, here is my first song. If you do not count this one, let me set it up for you. The song came to me in a dream. It was my old Auntie Ray, and she was wagging her finger at me and she says, "You should write the songs. The song and the story about me and your grandfather." I said, "You and my grandfather?" She said, "Me and your grandfather." And this is it. Here is a story about Grandfather Isaac, Grandfather Isaac and my Aunt Ray. She wasn't an aunt, really. She was a friend of the family. On Friday nights and Saturday nights, she was always there, sitting next to Isaac whilst Isaac said the prayers. Grandfather Isaac, he loved his wife Sophie. Grandmother Sophie, she loved him too. He wasn't short of affection, but he was prone to depression. And when that descended, Sophie would say, why don't we think about inviting round Ray? And as soon as he saw her, the dark clouds would lift, and the three of them would laugh about that and about this. If Sophie knew, she didn't say, and neither did Isaac or Ray. But under the table their hands touch. It's all that they're able to do, and it isn't that much, but a power that's so hard to resist arcs across their fingertips. Wound up like coiled springs are they, Grandfather Isaac and my Aunt Ray. Sophie and Rachel are primary school teachers to the immigrant children down Chapeltown Way, and though they share their secrets like best friends do, there was this one subject that was always taboo. Things were not open and free like today. Emotions were stifled and hidden away. Grandfather Isaac had a strict moral code, and though he may have been tempted to go down that road, he favoured the status quo, and he stayed on the straight and narrow. But under the table he strokes her knee. It's all that they're able to do when no one can see, and that was as far as it went. They knew how much more it meant. Their hearts never came out to play. Grandfather Isaac and my Aunt Ray. Rachel grew older, but she never married. No man she encountered could take Isaac's place. She kept a tiny picture of him in a locket of silver. And many years later, on the day that he died, she clutched on that locket, and she cried and she cried, imagining everything for better or for worse, and remembering the warmth of his hand holding hers. Under the table, Isaac and Ray speak with their fingers what their mouths dare not say. And somewhere in a parallel land, Isaac and Rachel are publicly holding hands, and that's where we'll find them today. Grandfather Isaac and my Aunt Ray. Grandfather Isaac and my Aunt Ray. So we should be able to see a little picture of them there on a beach a long, long way from here, a long, long time ago. And I can ask you all to see if you can work out which one's which, and maybe even put it in the chat. Maybe actually a little bit later, but maybe Christine could add it up and see. Let's take a tally and see who got it right. But I can give you a clue. Isaac is the one in the middle. I'm not going to mess around with too much chat because time is short. Here is an abridged version of my song, Grateful. Is it just me, or do the days these days go by that much more quickly than they did? So many strange things going on, so many pieces of the puzzle that don't fit. I watch the sunset on the western sea. The light plays on the water, and it feels to me that I am blessed to be here despite all the unrest and the way it may appear. I'm grateful for what I'm about to receive. Let me be grateful for all that I've achieved, and when I'm looking for a place to hide, when I feel broken inside, remind me, grateful. That's how I want to be. How much you're pushed, how much you're pulled, how much you wish, how much you wait, how much you pray. And if you don't get what you want, then what you want's not what you needed anyway. Zoom out the camera lens and what do we see? The Earth, the Moon, the planets and the galaxy. And I am just a speck of dust, lost somewhere in my own universe. Grateful, hark the herald angels sing, come all ye faithful, and give thanks for everything, for all that's said and done, for all that's yet to come. Help me to be grateful. 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 Time flying by. I'm not going to mess about. I'm going to get on with this. This is for anybody. Well, all the songwriters here will be familiar with this idea, and anybody that likes songs and songwriting has probably asked or mentioned this idea to a songwriter. And here it is. If I had £1 for every time someone said, when they slipped on the ground and they banged their head, there's a song in that, my picture would be in all the papers, rolling in cash on a bed in Las Vegas. If I had a quid or a buck, every time up a tree a cat got stuck, or the alarm didn't ring, or I burned the toast, or the car wouldn't start, I'd be on the coast of Amalfi, knocking back the mojitos. The unextraordinary thing does not usually inspire me to sing, but when I look around and back at what I've lost and found and haven't lack, alright, I admit there might be just a bit of a song in that. Who'd have thought when I was a kid that I'd still be doing the same as I did, and here I'd be, still craving praise and approval, which reminds me I must write the song for my funeral. All these years I've been treading the boards, Perrier, Olivia, Tony Awards, not for me. Not a plate, not a dish, not a cup. Anybody saying we'll give in or give up, but I've been at this game for a long time, and though I feel like I've been waiting in a long line. I used to dream of being the English Sondheim. Instead I carved a little niche just this side of kitsch. So if you care to put your spare small change into this hat, there'll be a song in that. And this is it. This is the song in that. It's just a bit of entertainment from a hack. I have made a small career out of them, it would appear. There's a song in that. Lately there's been a load of fuss about the end of the world and the end of us. It's never or now, but you can be a friend of Gaia with the plague and the fake and the quake and the flood and the fire. Coffee pots, plastic spoons and beakers, pumper brides, open fires, patio heaters, poof, kabow. But fear not, friends, there's hope. Before you hang yourself with hemp rope, the world is going to hell in a handcart, pushed by Philistines who do not understand art. It can change the world quite radically. Cannot think of we shall overcome. Imagine and what's going on. Fascinating Aida, Justin Bieber, Solomon Book, Declan O'Rourke, and every Christine Lavin song. If music be the food of love, play on and make us fat. There's a song in that, and this is it. This is the song in that. It's my hit. Does it stand out from the pack? And tonight when you're in bed it will be stuck inside your head. There's a song in that. From Europe to North and South America, should you choose Pfizer or AstraZeneca, there's a song in that. Well, we're still locked down inside our houses, all doing Zoom without our trousers. There's a song in that. And as for all those grimy, slimy, lying bastards, what do they think they're doing? Who do they think they are? This is a song of desperation and panic. This is a song they were playing on the deck of the Titanic. Are we all gonna wake from a dream and find it's all been a bad dream? And we're standing on the top of a hill, drinking Coca-Cola, singing that the age of Aquarius will mean these crazy times are over. This is it. This is the song in that. This is my shtick. This is my cane and my top hat, my champagne Charlie finale before I go off and come back. Jazz hands, everybody at home and everyone on Zoom. There's a song in that. Sing along a Zoom. There's a song in that. There's a song in that. There's a song in that. And when my time runs out and I finally blow a gasket and get sent off to be recycled in a cardboard casket, as the coffin rolls away, some wag will point at it and say, wait for it, there's a song in that. There's a song in that. There's a song in that.
All right. Thank you, Daniel Cainer. Wow, there's a song and everything. And I hope this pandemic ends soon so we can see you come onto this side of the ocean. And love to see some of your shows here in the U.S. But until then, I hope all of our listeners will check your Daniel's website, danielcainer.com. And some great music there. I was checking out some of those wonderful videos. There's so much more. But we've only got 15 minutes, and we've got to travel. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ron Olesko from folkmusicnotebook.com, a 24/7 internet radio channel, and I'm really honored once again to be part of this brilliant Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Each month, there's some of the finest artists that, that you can see anywhere nowadays. And tonight, we're having a little international flair, as Rod and Christine mentioned. We were just in the UK. Now we're going to head down to the west coast of Ireland for our next performer. Declan O'Rourke. He was born in Dublin, but as a youngster, he and his family spent some time living in Australia. And it was there, when he was 13 years old, that he received a gift of a guitar from a local priest who recognized his love of music and great potential. And he then started spending his teen years writing songs. And flash forward, 11 years? 24-year-old Declan is back in Dublin. He's part of the brilliant music scene that was taking place there in the early 2000s. He released his debut album in 2004, and that debut album earned him 3 sold-out nights at the prestigious music venue Waylands in Dublin, and also one of the shows was broadcast live on national radio in Ireland. The album quickly went gold, eventually double platinum, and just 11 years after getting that first guitar. So kids, practice. Well, since that debut, he has grown a legion of fans throughout Europe and also here in North America. And he's also received acclaim from music media and also musical peers, including people like Pete Townsend and the late John Prine. And in fact, Declan would share stages with John Prine, and they even co-wrote a song and recorded together. And Declan's songs have been recorded by so many artists, including jazz vocalist Cleo Lane, Irish icon Christy Moore, and also Josh Groban. And just a couple of weeks ago, Declan released his 7th CD. It's called Arrivals, and it's an album that showcases his brilliant acoustic guitar work and that wonderful voice of his, shining through with a collection of songs that are both personal and political in a very intimate setting. Well, we can't get more intimate than having the honor of listening to Declan tonight from his home in Ireland. Please welcome Declan O'Rourke.
Thank you so much, Ron. I think you've said it all, and I won't say too much after that, but I'm so delighted to be playing for you all. It's a very rare treat that this strange time has granted us, that I get to come and play in your homes this evening and have you visit mine too. So let's enjoy our time together. Thank you so much to Daniel. I don't know how he managed to get my name in there. I don't know anybody's ever got an O'Rourke into a song before, especially not Declan O'Rourke in the middle of a song off the cuff like that. I was so impressed, but much more impressed by his beautiful songs. I don't know how he got so many things right, including knowing that I and we are wearing no trousers. But anyway, thank you, Daniel. I loved your work. I'm going to get straight into it here and play some songs from that new record that Ron introduced, and the record is called Arrivals. It came out April 9th, and so the songs are quite fresh, and I'm so happy to play a couple. This first one is called The Harbour. All I need to equip you with before we start this, and in fact to continue with the theme that Daniel presented of various grocery chains and supermarkets, we have one. It's a European one called Lidl's. I don't know if you've heard of Lidl's. It's a bit like a Walmart or something, but it's like a discount chain. And Johnny is short for John. I'm kidding, you know that one already, but that information will get you through the first line of the song at least, and I presume you'll figure out the rest. Johnny cooks a steak from Lidl's on a Friday night. After spending all the week long working hard laying tiles, tells me she made me feel so used, but I leave all that behind. See, I was making real good money then, I had 10 men laying tiles, and he's standing in the doorway of our little kitchenette, puffing on one of these new crazed electric cigarettes. And I imagine he must get lonely, but if he does, he keeps it all in jail. But when you're guarding a prison, how do you choose what to bail? I've got an older friend named Pete who sometimes helps me with my trees. Likes to talk about old girlfriends and the places that he's been. He talks about his hippie days and how he settled here by chance. But he's always been a hippie since the time he lived in France. And he plays all kinds of music and sometimes he might sing. Where will all that go to when we miss him now some spring? I like to listen to him talking. He tells funny and wise tales. Says when you're holding a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Now me, I'm out here in the world, singing my songs from town to town, and giving everything I have to get this thing of mine here bound. So maybe someday I can live just like the fisherman who stays close to the harbor and only takes enough just for today. But for now I think I'm somewhere in the middle of the sea. I'm sailing on a suitcase filled with dreams of what might be, and I look for pretty stories for to sing as mine and fill my sail. And when you live by the weather, every wind has a tale. Ooh. Thank you. So I am calling to you from a little place called Kinvara on the west coast of Ireland. As Ron pointed out, it's not where I'm from, but I moved here about 15 years ago. My granddad came from here to sing to keep another theme going about grandfathers. So my grandfather left here in about 1937 and moved to Dublin, started a family. But he painted this place his whole life and left my family, my larger extended family, with a huge collection of these paintings of this beautiful place. And we grew up falling in love with it, and I was drawn to it, and I ended up moving here. And when he passed away, he was actually the last member of his family and the last carrier of the name to be born here. So when my wife and I had a little boy 3 years ago, he was the first member of the family to be born into this town in 102 years. And on the way home from the hospital with my son, it was a beautiful starry night, and I just felt like a lot of things aligned to bring that to happen. And this song came from it. So it's called The Stars Over Kinvara. Through dark summer nights on his racing bike, your great-granddad might go Killeen. When art classes were done in Galway town, cycled home the miles between, and the moon overhead led him home as he sped, till the stars over Kinvara said, welcome home. Long before I ran to be your old man, I dreamed of living here, where Atlantic waves neath Dungura's gaze keep the air so fresh and clear. I was 25 when I first laid eyes on where I knew I'd find my children's eyes, and the stars over Kinvara said, welcome home. That first night I drove you and Mammy home, I pulled over in Ballinderreen. I just had to pull in, I had never seen such a sky of gems that gleamed. Orion was out, and the starry plough, all the night was on display, over the burn, the road and the bay. There were 10 more lights that shone, for each one of our own passed on, and I dreamed that my go-to was shining down on you, when the stars over Kinvara said, welcome home. When the stars over Kinvara said, welcome home. Thank you so much. I love playing for you guys, and it's so nice to hear clapping through Zoom en masse. Thank you. I'm going to leave you with this song and sit back and enjoy the rest of the gig. This is a song that hopefully speaks to our times somewhat. It's a simple song with a simple message, and in the great tradition of, I suppose, protest songs within the folk community. This is called Have You Not Heard the War Is Over? Have you not heard? The war is over. and you can sing along. You can switch off your mics or leave them on or whatever you like. I meant that in the other order actually. But and join me for the refrain, which repeats at the end of every verse. Thank you so much, all you beautiful people, for having me on there. Enjoy the rest of the show, and we'll see you out there sometime soon. I've been Declan O'Rourke. You've been wonderful. Have you not heard the war is over? It was only the color of the flag dyed. It turns out every flag looks the same. These stood dead men and women and children. When it's been soaked in the blood that they paid, have you not heard the war is over? That's the line for you guys. You know they found an old man in the jungle, still fighting in World War II. He alone believed it wasn't over. Now do you think that could mean it was true? Have you not heard the war is over? They say war is a state of illusion, just made up to remind us we're free. They didn't really gas those children in Syria. No, it was only a thing for TV. Have you not heard the war is over? Isn't the word border a man-made invention? Mother Nature would not make those things. She makes beautiful mountains and rivers, things that can't be dreamed up by a king. Have you not heard the war is over? Let's do that line again so everyone out there can sing it again. Have you not heard the war is over? Once more, wherever you're listening. Have you not heard the war is over? Thank you. Must have been there was really a Jesus, 'cause millions died in his word and his name. Turns out no one recorded him talking, and there's no one alive they can blame. Have you not heard the war is over? They found this new thing called peace. It turns out there was really no difference No difference at all between you and me.
All right.
So much.
Oh, Declan, thank you so much. And I just love your new album. And the arranger you work with, her name is Hannah Peel.
Hannah Peel, yes, she's wonderful.
Oh, she, with the string quartet, I just love your work so much. And I hope you'll be on our side of the pond sometime soon.
I plan to. Thank you, Christine. Lovely to see you on here, and have a great night, everyone.
And thank you for staying up late, and I hope that your music didn't wake up your son.
I don't think so.
Oh, thank you. Our next performer is also going to be joining us from England. And about him, Bob Harris of the BBC has said, the more you listen, the more there is to discover. His most recent album is called Such Times, was just released in January. He's a brilliant guitarist. He's got songs like The Reckoning, The Road When I Was Young, Life Is Not Kind to the Drinking Man, and there's even a film being made about him. I think it's just about finished. The working title was The Tilston Trail, and he, so far, in his 50 years of performing, has recorded 27 solo albums, and he's also on 20 other albums, including Twilight of the Dogs, the songs of Les Barker. I love Les Barker so much. I can't believe that he's on that record. I just want to give you a quote of one of the lyrics from his song Such Times, which is on his latest album. Steve Tilston writes, I can remember a landscape much fairer, where cheats and dissemblers were seen to fall. Now they guffaw and peddle their scruples for ermine and rubles and sneer at us all. After 50 years performing all over the world, he's here tonight at the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Please welcome Steve Tilston.
Thank you ever so much. Thank you, Christine. Thank you. I did see you from afar at the New Bedford Festival. This is donkey's years ago, but anyway, you told a very funny story about Harrison Ford. Yeah, lovely. Thanks to Declan for some great songs. So we got a bunch, 3 songs for you. First one is off that new album, and it was written about hereabouts, where this is coming from. Where I live in a lovely little town called Hebden Bridge, which is in the Yorkshire Pennines. It's the north of England, and we're doing this from my local village hall, Wadsworth Community Centre. And I've got here a good friend, Hugh Bradley, joining me on the bull fiddle. So we'll start off with a song that was written as I, during the first lockdown, tramping the hills around and about. As I said before, in the Pennines, which are the hills, the backbone going up England. And this was a song that was written on the hoof. The chorus was, anyway. Daylight Rising. Daylight will come rising with a long night, the last goodbye. Daylight will come rising and an ill wind lay down to die. There will come a time to open wide the window, get up out of bed and weave across the floor. Leave behind the shadows, take those aching bones outside that door. Daylight will come rising with a long night, the last goodbye. Daylight will come rising and an ill wind lay down There will come a time to shun all the false faces. There will come a time to silence the forked tongues, the ones that led us into these dark places, knowing that their way was always wrong. Daylight will come rising with the long night, the last goodbye. Daylight will come rising, and an ill wind lay down to die. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, let's see. Take the pace down a bit. Christine mentioned a song that I wrote a few years ago called The Road When I Was Young. And we'll do that for you now. This is, well, as the name, it's pretty self-evident what it's about, as The Road When I Was Young, and looking back on the people and friends who I've, some still around, obviously some not of them around, some not around. A good friend of mine, Dave Evans, wonderful guitar player and writer, died sadly a couple of weeks ago. So I'll dedicate this to him. And yeah, The Road When I Was Young. So it's a kind of waltz time. So we're waltzing off into the metaphorical, metaphysical distance. Though these traveling shoes are worn and tattered, we still keep moving on. They have learned to tread the routes that matter along the road when I was young. There have been many endless signs and diversions. They searching for the sun. Many mislaid plans and missing persons along the road when I was young. Down that well-worn path I wandered, chasing dreams in the blue yonder, and freely spending time 'twas mine to squander along the road when I was young. Many nights alone, some nights together, with some special one. Then back behind the wheel and held for leather along the road when I was young. My first song, it still lingers. Oh, how the notes spill from my fingers, and I did stand in line with the folk singers along the road when I was young. Take it, Hugh. Bradley, ladies and gents. There were no goodbyes for some companions. Never realized when time was done. Each with our own absolute opinions along the road when I was young. I had guitar, was free to travel, strands of life did unravel when I sold my soul to the crossroads devil along the road when I was young. It's down that well-worn path I wandered, chasing dreams in the blue yonder, and freely spending time 'twas mine to squander along the road when I was young. Along the road when I was young. Thank you. You bet. Cheers. That was a bit good, Hugh. Yeah. Well, do you one more now? Thanks ever so much. And oh, yes, got one here. Just let me tune down into. The dreaded Dadgad.
The deadly Dadgad.
There was a time when a good proportion of my songs were in Dadgad, but not so much the case anymore. This is yeah, we'll leave you with a traditional folk song I wrote. This was written way back in the 1980s, so it's almost traditional. A song of emigration to your part of the world. Well, I think round about bar number 16, this should be perfectly in tune. It'll be downhill from then on. But, from that brief bar 16, it should be all fine. It's called the Slip Jigs and Reels. Thank you ever so much, and have a good festival. Barely a man in his grandfather's coat, sewn into the lining a 10-shilling note. Goodbye to the family, goodbye to the shore. Till I taste good fortune, you see me no more. A boat on the ocean, tossed like a cork. Then one fine morning they sighted New York. And he stood on the gangplank, and he breathed in the air. Lo, land of plenty, I've come for my share. Oh, and he did like the ladies, the rise and the fall of their ankles and dresses down on the dance floor. And rolling the dice and spinning the wheel. But it took most delight in the slip jigs and reels. It'd be great if you fancy singing along to that. Now there's talk of a pistol, some say a knife, but all are agreed there was somebody's wife. Some kind of commotion, terrible fight. He left the man for dead and ran into the night. On a train from St. Louis, just one jump ahead, he slept one eye open, a 6-gun in bed. And he dreamt of the mountains and the green fields of home, while crossing the plains where the buffalo roam. When he did like the ladies, the rise and the fall of their ankles and dresses down on the dance floor, and rolling the dice and spinning the wheel. But he took most delight in the slip jigs and reels. Go. bad reputation's a hard thing to bear. Young mothers pour scorn and young children they stare. But he found consolation in flash company. Life ain't so bad with the girl on your knee. Well, they called him the kid. By 21, all that he knew was the power of a gun. And by 23, he'd shot 5 men down. It just got in his way as he rambled around. Well, he did like the ladies, the rise and the fall of their ankles and dresses down on the dance floor, and rolling the dice and spinning the wheel. But took most delight in the slip jigs and reels. Now there's bones on the desert and buzzards that fly in the highest of circles, just wishing he'd die. But in matters of cruelty, it must be said, the landlord will pick your bones before you're dead. It was wild mescaleros, I heard people say, in the deadliest ambush near old Santa Fe. And the young buck was taken, dressed in a coat, inside the lining a 10-shilling note. Oh, and he did like the ladies, the rise and the fall of their ankles and dresses down on the dance floor, and rolling the dice and spinning the wheel. But he took most delight in the slip jigs and wheels. In the slip jigs and wheels. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you.
Steve Tilston. Wow, that was just wonderful. I remember seeing you perform that song, I think it was at the Old Songs Festival a few years ago, and I've always loved that song, and I love your new album. It's
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
It's a wonderful album called Such Times. I hope our listeners will and viewers tonight will check out your website, stevetilston.com. Thanks again, Steve.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, this is just an incredible night, and we're going to come back to this side of the Atlantic Ocean for our next performer. But before we do that, I do want to remind everybody that this Greenwich Village Folk Festival is a gift to the community. It's a free concert, but there is a tip jar. And if you've ever had a thought, gee, I'd like to buy that musician dinner sometime, well, this is a good chance for you to do that. You can go to the website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org, and you can find out information on how to tip. Or you can look at the, if you're on YouTube or Facebook, I'm sure the information and links are provided there. There's also a PayPal account, paypal.me/GVFF2020. But if you go to the festival, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org website, you'll find links there as well. Well, our next performer, Neshama Carlebach. She's an award-winning singer, songwriter, and teacher. And when she was just 5 years old, she began training as a singer and an actress. By the time she was a teenager, she was performing alongside of her father, the legendary Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach. And after her father passed away in 1994, Neshama began her professional career. And since that time, she's recorded 10 albums, selling over 1 million records. And her latest album, Believe, was released in 2019. It received 3 Independent Music Award nominations for Best Gospel Album, also Best Gospel Song, and Best Adult Contemporary Song. The message of that song and the album, Believe, just might sum up Neshama's work. It helps us turn darkness into light. It's a message that we all need to embrace as we work toward eventually coming out of this pandemic. Neshama was the first then Orthodox woman of her generation to perform for a mixed-gender audience, and she continues to create conversation about the place of women in Judaism and today's world. Her music has reached interfaith communities and addresses social concerns in our country and the world. She collaborates with musicians of many different faiths and creates her own unique sound that blends classic Hebrew folk songs with pop music, jazz, and gospel. She's performed in synagogues, churches, concert halls, festivals all across the U.S. and the globe, bringing her message to thousands upon thousands and sharing a message of hope. Please welcome to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, Neshama Carlebach.
Thank you. Oh, that was so nice. What an honor and a joy it is to be with such glorious humans tonight. I am hugging you all from my little corner in New York, praying for the time that we can once again embrace each other in person. Thank you for having me. This is Believe. May we one day see heaven in each other's eyes.
Let us light these lights for the world tonight. Let our hearts unite in the light, in the light. There is a spark in every soul, awakening, and I believe the source is love. I believe. Don't give up on everything you've chosen. It's closer than it seems. Who among us hasn't hoped or prayed that there would come a day, and that day will make love light up the sky. That day we'll see heaven in each other's eyes. I believe, I believe, I believe. Close my eyes so I can see all that can be. We will rise. I do believe. I do believe. So don't give up on everything you've dreamed. It's closer than it seems. Who among us hasn't hoped or prayed that there would come a day? That day will make love light up the sky. That day we'll see heaven in each other's eyes. I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe.
special already. Just really, really feeling so inspired. I don't know how all of you feel, but after this moment of pandemic, of insularness, it feels so holy to see people's faces and to hear their holy messages. Before my father died 26 years ago, we had an amazing walk on the streets of Vienna. Vienna was where he lived when he was a little boy. And he held my hand and the snow was coming down. And he said, never, never forget that we need to gather moments of infinite joy. Because there are so many reasons and so many ways that the world will push us to feel sad. And when you're sad, you only feel sadder. You'll only remember all the millions of reasons why everything is terrible and falling apart. So in those moments, you have to remember your moments of infinite joy. And I've carried that with me throughout my ups and downs as an adult since he passed several months later. And during the pandemic, I have had the gift of walking with my sons on the street. We walk 3 or 4 miles every day of pandemic, and I hold their hands, and I feel my blessings, and I feel the infinite joy that perhaps I overlooked in favor of shoes and travel and details. And I feel my priorities in my blood and in my breath. And seeing all of you and hearing you all tonight, you have inspired me. This is one of my moments of joy. So thank you for all that you give. Over the pandemic, we're not going anywhere, but I have sat in this little corner, and I've had the privilege of singing over 300 Zoom events. And in this time, this next song has propelled me forward. Hear our prayer. Even when you can't hear each other's voices, there's an energy that ricochets from one end of the universe to the other when we pray for each other and when we sing Amen. In my work as a Jewish singer, we have something called the nigun, which is the song without words. We spend so much time getting bogged down, held back by our words, by the things that we say, that we don't say, that we can't say, that we wish we could say. Daniel, I'm thinking about your grandfather and your Aunt Ray. So much that is under the table. May we find the melody and get ourselves out of our own way to sing without words and to know exactly what it is that we need in this world and to hear the universe screaming back, Amen. So this is Hear Our Prayer. I hope you're singing, and even if I'm not hearing you, I am hearing you.
May we be blessed. May we be blessed. Please hear our prayer. May we be known. May we be heard. Please hear our prayer.
Thanks, everyone. How much fun. Do we have time for one more? A little one? Okay. I wanted to just give a quick shout out to Seth Farber and to Liz Queller, his wife. And I don't even know if Joey Farber is on the Facebook, my musical director and his family. I miss you. I'm singing with this now, seriously. We gotta find each other again. It's crazy. This last song is called Shine. It's for my children and for your children, for all the glorious days ahead, which no doubt will be ours. It's really easy to be scared, and I hope that you all see the light. I hope that you all have the hope that we will find each other again, and that we will shine, that we will find a new day, that we will feel all the gifts which were meant to be ours, which are ours all along, even when we can't feel them. May the future generations learn from us. May we be an incredible example of how to fix this universe and start over. It was here 1 second ago. This is Shine. Thank you for having me.
May our days be brighter. May we rise above. May we hold each other with dignity and love. May our words reflect you, and may our voices climb. May the heavens hear us. May the light shine and shine on me and on all who need. Shine it on me, Lord. The air I breathe, oh Lord, shine on me. We make whole the broken, regaining peace and pride. May we treasure all our children and the preciousness of life. Transcend the darkness and reach for the divine. Please hear us. May the light shine and shine on me and on all who need. Shine it on me, Lord, and I will receive. Shine on me. The air I breathe, oh Lord, shine on me. Through the clouds and through the rain, through the storm I praise your name. I pray your light will shine on me. So shine on me and on all who need. Shining on me, Lord, so that I can receive. Shine on me. It's the air I breathe, oh Lord, shine on me.
That's Neshama Carlebach. Are you really a mother of 5 children?
Yes, 2 are from my uterus, and 3 are my stepchildren. Could I have been more blunt? That was terrible. Two of my own and 3 love children.
Wow. Well, you look great. That's a lot of responsibility to have besides pursuing a music career.
Thank you. So. It is worth every second. Nothing that's worthwhile is easy, I don't think, and especially now.
Well, thank you so much, Neshama. It's wonderful to hear your music.
Thanks.
Well, our next performer, his name is Seth Glier, but he spells it Glier. But he says it rhymes with beer. That's easy to remember. He's Grammy nominated, a singer, songwriter, producer, and multi-instrumentalist, and NPR has described his voice as otherworldly, while praising him as an engaging performer and storyteller. His critically acclaimed, emotionally dense catalog of work often draws upon traditional roots music, experimental instrumentation, and moody atmospheres that result in soulfully intelligent stories that can alternatively fight the power or break your heart. Now, big news with Seth Glier is that pop-up pandemic party requests are now open for the summer of 2021. If you are lucky enough to live within a radius of 100 miles from Northampton, Massachusetts, he will come and do a concert in your backyard, in your driveway. You can invite your friends and neighbors, and you can contact him through his website, sethglier.com. And it's just a real thrill. I've never heard him before. I can't wait to hear him. Please welcome Seth Glier.
Well, thank you, Christine. Man, it's such a privilege to meet you in this way. You may not know this, but when I was 14, I grew up in Shelburne Falls, and you would play this little folk music series that was happening out of Memorial Hall in Shelburne Falls called Hilltown Folk. And I saw you when I was 14. I was just sort of trying to suss out this thing right here that we're doing, which is this power of how we tell a story has the power to change a story. So it's a privilege to be in your company this evening. I'm coming to you from Holyoke, Massachusetts, and this is a song that I wrote about a year ago, and I wrote this kind of inspired by the stillness of this time, but more specifically, that the stillness felt like an invitation. It still feels like an invitation, that it was the stillness that would allow us to sort of recalibrate. And so this is a song that I call The Coronation. When this storm is all over, I'm gonna throw on the reverb real quick, sorry. When this storm is all over, there's no risk of exposure. Will we still stand where we stood? Will it be back to business as usual? Or can we build the world more beautiful than we ever thought we could? Welcome to the coronation, where all creation gets an invitation to a new world order. I'm talking about a liberation from our story of separation, where together we find salvation, love with no borders. It's just around the corner. The crown can come from the ashes, even as the lightning flashes. We will use the sparks to see the myth that fuels our compulsion, that keeps us in perpetual motion, stealing our humanity. Welcome to the coronation, where all creation gets an invitation to a new world order. I'm talking about a liberation from our story of separation,
We're together, we find salvation, love with no borders. It's just around the corner. It's just around the corner. A reunion meant for everyone. A reunion meant for everyone. Everyone. Welcome to the coronation, where all creation gets an invitation to a new world order. I'm talking about liberation from our story of separation. We're together, we find salvation, love with no borders. It's just around the corner. It's just around the corner. Yes, I'll meet you around the corner. Yes, I'll meet you around the corner.
Wow. Seth, you're great.
Last night the tears were more than just fear. The news hit way too close to home. Talking to friends about when this will end. The truth is that none of us know. I feel paralyzed, been staying inside, keeping the wick of hope lit. Until further notice. Until further notice. New rhythms, no rhyme. Still I'm resigned to look for the gift I've been given. To finish that book, to take a good look at the pace of the life I've been living. All of humanity searching for sanity, figuring out how to go through this. Until further notice. Until further notice. 'Cause our finest hour is within our power if we're willing to do a little learning. And if there's an angel that flies from Montgomery, send us a song as a sermon. Some waiting on checks that some won't ever get. Floating can feel just like drowning, but there's still stars in the sky. Love is in good supply. In a way we're already rebounding. And so I keep trying, laughing and crying, even when I feel a bit broken. I'll be keeping the wick of hope lit until further notice. Until further notice. Till further notice. till further notice. Well, it's a privilege to be in this community of folks, and I've just thoroughly enjoyed my evening, and I hope you guys have enjoyed me, and I can't wait to sit back and enjoy the rest of the evening. It's also good to see some familiar faces behind here in the Zoom. Ron, I don't think I've seen you in 10 years, maybe.
13 years, 2008.
Look it up. I was trying to look it up today. Amazing. Good to see you guys. Well, I'll leave you guys with this song. This is a song that I wrote after pondering the events of George Floyd's murder, and around the same time, my wife and I just bought a house here, and we've been trying to figure out how to deal with growing a garden, and this metaphor sort of seeped into this song. So this is called "Poison in the Roots." Since the dawn of time, it's been going down. We've been pushing seeds into the ground, growing a garden of hypocrisy. The founding fathers found nothing wrong with saying everyone belongs while taking part in the sin of slavery. The soil still stained with blood, buried in the mud. There's poison in the roots, poison in the roots. Oh, there's gonna be poison in the fruit. There's poison in the roots, poison in the roots. Oh, there's gonna be poison in the fruit. Still living in the land where money talks. The poor man begs as the rich man walks on the backs of the worker bees he's keeping down. We're all slaves to our appetite. One more for less, we want it overnight. So everyone stays stuck on the merry-go-round. And though the seed has grown, it's time for us to own. There's poison in the roots, poison in the roots. Oh, there's gonna be poison in the fruit. There's poison in the roots, poison in the roots. Oh, there's gonna be poison in the fruit. Where do you start when there's so much to restore? We gotta dig a little deeper than we've ever dug before. I believe we can untwist the vine that's wrapped around our storyline. I know we can't ignore it anymore. There's poison in the roots, poison in the roots. Oh, there's gonna be poison in the fruit. There's poison in the roots, poison in the roots. Oh, there's gonna be poison in the fruit. There's poison in the roots, poison in the roots. You know there's gonna be poison in the fruit.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, Seth, that was brilliant.
Oh,
that was brilliant. You know, you mentioned having to look it up. I had to do the same thing. It was 2008, and you had just released the self-released edition of your album.
Oh my God!
The Trouble with People. That was before you were with the Empress Records too, right?
Before I signed, yeah, I recorded that record in my parents' basement.
Wow! And I remember, I think you had to get somebody to drive you to the radio station. I think you were still in high school, I believe, at that time.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Well, I've been watching your career and listening to your music ever since then, and I am so honored to have been able to present you then and still play you now. And I understand you're working on a new album that hopefully we'll get to hear sometime this year.
It is finished up. I'm on to the next one. This new record, which all the songs that I played tonight is coming out in September.
Excellent. We'll look for that. Make sure you get me a copy, and hopefully we'll get you back to the studio sooner than 13 years.
Great to see you again.
Good to see you too, Seth Glier. Well, this is quite a night, and we're talking about Seth when one of the joys of being a DJ is to get to meet new performers and watch them grow, like Seth has certainly grown and become an outstanding performer. And our next performer is someone I think is going to be great things in her future. Now, her resume already includes performances at prestigious venues across the country, from the Bitter End in New York City, the Colony in Woodstock, New York, Nashville's Bluebird Cafe, the Pig and Whistle in Los Angeles, and her lyrics have already been published in a number of magazines, and all this at just 16 years old. Well, last month, she released her first video single. It's called Before You Leave, and it's been getting a number of hits and likes, and it's a strong sampling of the powerful music she has to offer. You're going to enjoy this. Please welcome to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, Stella Prince.
Yay! Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. This is my first time ever performing at the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, so I just have to say first off that it is such an honor to be included tonight. So my name is Stella and I'm 16, and pretty much my whole goal is to bring the genre of folk music back. So I'm just so excited to share my music tonight with everyone. Alright, so I thought I'd start off with an original song called The Lonely. And I actually wrote this a couple of years ago when I was traveling in California, and when my family and I got to California, specifically Los Angeles, I was just so shocked to find so many homeless people, and I knew that I had to write a song about that. So this is The Lonely. She's just a face people forget after they walk by. She's just a backdrop in the dark of a better scene. Well, what's it like knowing your life has passed you by? Well, I wouldn't know, but it could happen to me. She's just a face people regret having to notice. She's just a hand with a can to ignore. Well, what's it like knowing your life has passed you by? Well, I wouldn't know, but it could happen to me. What is it for? Living here like this, what do we do wrong? Letting them live like this. The lonely could have had another life. He's just a man living off the streets of LA, and all he has is a photo of his house. Well, what's it like knowing your life has passed you by? Well, I wouldn't know, but it could happen to me. What is it for? Living here like this, what do we do wrong? Letting them live like this. The lonely could have had another life. Thank you. All right, so one of my all-time favorite singers is Joni Mitchell. And to me, she's just been a huge inspiration, and I absolutely love her music. And it really is just so amazing and so timeless. And this next song is inspired by one of my favorites of hers, which is the Circle Game. But instead of the Circle Game, this one's called Circle Back. The falling of a star in a watercolor sky. Picture perfect summers when the days move slowly by. The essence of a rainstorm, the morning after then, brings a certain melancholy that makes me feel again. Time doesn't move in straight lines, following one simple track, and often it seems we all have to circle back. Dreaming in the night, a message in the wind, endless fear of waiting for something to begin. Photograph forgotten when memories are in kind. Maybe it's time to reclaim what was mine. Time doesn't move in straight lines, following one simple track, and often it seems we all have to circle back. Thank you so much. So this next song is actually my debut single. It came out on March 12th, pretty recently, and it's called Before You Leave. And it's probably one of my favorite songs I think I've ever written. And it really talks about loss and what it's like to kind of just have that one last moment with someone before they leave. So this is Before You Leave. Thought you and me were always meant to be, but timing's everything, don't you see? So just one more time, say you love me before you leave, before you leave, before you leave. Like an earthquake with shifting ground, searching for ourselves in the lost and found memories of what could almost be, casting shadows on our destiny. And you and me were always meant to be, but timing's everything, don't you see? So just one more time, say you love me before you leave, before you leave, before you leave. Echoing sounds of soft rain, distant, empty, passing trains point to paths that break apart, splintered moments of my heart. And you and me were always meant to be, but timing's everything, don't you see? So just one more time, say you love me before you leave, before you leave, before you leave. Thank you all. So I guess I better wrap it up. So my fourth and final song is, I think, one that most of us know. It's called Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell. And this is really one of my all-time favorite songs, and I hope I can do it justice. Bows and flows of angel hair, and ice cream castles in the air, and feather canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I could have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds, illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way you feel as every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way, but now it's just another show. You leave them laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at love from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's love's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. Ooh. Thank you.
Stella. So Stella, I wanted to ask you, what is the first time that you really heard folk music that spoke to you that made you think you wanted to pursue this?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, ever since I was little, I was just always listening to folk music. My parents aren't musicians, but they had a huge collection of CDs. And so, there was every genre. And, just listening to Joni Mitchell, it totally inspired me from a very early age. Probably the first time I heard her, I was only like 3 or 4, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. So,
have you done any theater in high school?
I did theater when I was little. In elementary school. Yeah.
Really? What show? What was your first show?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I can't remember, but I know that I was obsessed with Annie when I was like 5. So there's a huge phase about that. Yeah.
Oh. Well, your voice is so lovely, and I feel like everybody watching you tonight is going to remember this because we expect big things from you.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope I can do you guys justice. So.
Well, thank you. And StellaPrince.com, that's your website?
Yeah, it's StellaPrinceMusic.com. And
Music.com.
Yeah, StellaPrinceMusic.com, and you can definitely follow me on all social medias at just Stella Prince Music.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, our next performer is Joe Crookston, who is somebody who I feel like I should have met a million times, but I haven't yet. So this will be the first time to see him live. He lives in Ithaca, New York, which is part of the Finger Lakes area. And his music swirls with themes of lightness, darkness, clocks ticking, fiddle looping, weeping willows, slide guitar bending, cynicism, hope, and the cycles of life and rebirth. Well, and besides being an amazing songwriter and performer and an instrumentalist, he's a painter. And he actually does concerts where he will hang his art in the lobby of the venue where he's playing. So it becomes a totally immersive kind of experience. So unfortunately, we don't have his art, but if you go to his website, joecrookston.com, you can see it. So please welcome now to the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, Joe Crookston.
Thank you so much, Christine. I want to say I worked at Apple Farm Arts and Music Center for 3 years, and I got your On a Winter's Night, the compilation CD, and you asked Stella what got her into folk music. Well, I'll tell you what got me into folk music was those songs. And there's a song on one of those which was your song, The Kind of Love That You Never Recover From. And well, that was the kind of song that I never recovered from. So thank you for kicking me into this beautiful world of music and songwriting. So I'm so happy to be with you all tonight. I'll sing a brand new one here that I'm still sketching out, but I'm just gonna have fun doing it. Jeffrey was the visioner and the baker of the bread, high as the moon, hanging overhead, and we'd eat crickets in the mountains by the Cascade riverbed. And now everything has changed, and Jeffrey is dead, and look at how the time is gone. Look at how the time is gone, and we are turning golden. Maria was the sunrise, the Midwestern heart of gold, giving shelter and warmth from the Minnesota cold. And we broke apart in the winter, so I traveled to the coast. And now everything has changed. Maria's just a ghost. And look at how the time is gone. Look at how the time is gone. And we are turning golden. Genevieve was the muddy girl climbing up and down the tree in that awkward family portrait with the velvet on her sleeve. She was hiding and pretending, and over time and by degree. Now everything has changed and Jaden is free. And look at how the time is gone. Look at how the time is gone, and we are turning golden. Jackson was a Cherokee with a long native braid and that Volkswagen grease and that cello that he made. And we drive through the goldenrod like the witch of the Westmoreland. Now everything is different. Everything has changed. I was just a driver from Cleveland to LaSalle, making lines across America like the crack in the Liberty Bell. I'd show up with my fingers and I'd give my heart away, and now everything is different. Everything is different. And look at how the time is gone. Look at how the time is gone, and we turning golden. If you're at home, sing it. Come on, here we go. Look at how the time is gone. Look at how the time is gone, and we are turning golden.
Beautiful.
Well, I'm gonna go back in time. I'm gonna go back in time about 15 or 18 years, maybe, and sing you a song that I wrote on a boulder in the Cascade Mountains out in Washington State. And when I first came to the East Coast, I think this was the first song I played, and where I met Ron Olesko, and eventually Rod McDonald. This song is called Fall Down As the Rain. When my life is over and I have gone away, I'm gonna leave this big old world and the trouble and the pain. And if I get to heaven, I will not stay. I'll turn myself around again and fall down as the rain. When I finally reach the ground, I'll soak into the side. I'll turn myself around again, come up as goldenrod. Come up as goldenrod, come up as goldenrod. I'll turn myself around again, come up as goldenrod. Come up as goldenrod, come up as goldenrod. I'll turn myself around again, come up as goldenrod. And then when I turn dry and brown, I'll lay me down to rest. I'll turn myself around again as part of an eagle's nest. Part of an eagle's nest, part of an eagle's nest. I'll turn myself around again as part of an eagle's nest. When that eagle learns to fly, I'll flutter from that tree. I'll turn myself around again as part of the mystery. Part of the mystery, part of the mystery. I'll turn myself around again as part of the mystery. When my life is over and I have gone away, I'm gonna leave this big old world and the trouble and the pain. And if I get to heaven, I will not stay. I'll turn myself around again and fall down as the rain. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Stella Prince, it was great to hear you sing and play, and I look forward to more from her. And I'll play a quick one here, and we'll have a lot more music to go, so I'll just, a little slide guitar here. If you hear that rattling in there, that's my rattlesnake tail. I like to put rattlesnake tails in my instruments. It's supposed to keep the devil away, and it hasn't worked yet, but I'm going to keep trying. So this is a little slide guitar, and my name is Joe Crookston. Peace to you all, and thank you for the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. What an honor to be with you all tonight. Just really great. So thank you. Little slide guitar. I'm going to make something up here and see what happens. America, America, you're not looking well. America, America, there's a crack in the Liberty Bell. Trouble isn't easy, no. Trouble brings doubt. Fear comes in and the joy goes out. Trouble isn't easy, no. Trouble brings doubt. Fear comes in and the joy goes out. How we gonna make it? What are we gonna do? How we gonna make it when trouble comes through? A little at a time, a little at a time, a little at a time till we make it through. Change isn't easy, no. The change is hard. Fear comes in and it can tear you apart. Change isn't easy, no. Change is hard. Fear comes in and it can tear you apart. How we gonna make it? What we gonna do? How we gonna make it when the change comes through? We'll take it bird by bird, bird by bird. We'll take it stone by stone, stone by stone. We'll take it bird by bird, bird by bird. We'll take it stone by stone, we'll take it stone by stone. Dreams aren't easy, no. Dreams get lost. Fear comes in and the dream gets tossed. How we gonna make it? What are we gonna do? How we gonna make this dream come true? We'll take it bird by bird. We'll take it bird by bird. We'll take it stone by stone, stone by stone. We'll take it bird by bird, bird by bird. We'll take it stone by stone. We'll take it stone by stone. America, America, you're not looking well. America, America, there's a crack in the Liberty Bell. All right, I'll see y'all again. Thank you so much, Greenwich Village Folk Festival. Really great to be with you all tonight. Thanks, Christine. Loved you all.
Joe.
Yay, Joe!
No. Oh, I love what you've done with that song, Joe. That is just great. You know, you've given us so many wonderful songs that have become part of our folk community, and I want to thank you for that. And speaking of giving us, I just noticed behind you, you have another folk legend. That's a painting you've done of Gene Shea, right?
Yeah, that's a portrait I did of Gene Shea, and I presented it to him about 2 years ago at a show in Philly, and it was I think eventually it's going to hang maybe in the Philadelphia Folk Festival office down there, but then the pandemic hit and we lost Gene, and we love him so much. So, and we love DJs. So Ron, I know we don't connect a lot, but I really appreciate what you do and the way that you support us troubadours. So thank you very much.
Thank you. You give me something to do every day, playing you great music. So thank you, Joe.
All right.
Joe Crookston. You're all watching the wonderful Greenwich Village Folk Festival. It happens the first Sunday of the month. It's a gift to the community, which honors the music of Greenwich Village. And it's a free concert, but donations are welcomed and shared with the performers. It's a 501c3 organization, nonprofit organization. And you can go to paypal.me/GVFF2020, or even better, go to the website, greenwichvillagefolkfestival.org. At the top of the page, there's a little link that you can donate on. And also, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook Live tonight, I'm sure in the comments section, you can see links to go to and help support this and keep this wonderful event going. And the festival has been a really huge help to all of us who are missing going out to live shows during this pandemic. And it's comforting to know these shows are giving us an opportunity, even if it's virtual, to be together and share some intimate performances from the homes of some of our favorite artists and friends. Now, I missed Falconridge last year, and this year is a question mark, but one of the things I'm dreaming of is the next time I get to experience the Slambovian Circus of Dreams. So tonight you're going to have to use your imagination. The Slambovians began their life in the late 90s following the demise of a very popular progressive rock band called the Ancestors. And the core members of that group were Joziah Longo, Sharky McEwen, and Tink Lloyd. And they created this Slambovian mythos and sound and built a cult following that they didn't have to follow the standard music industry business model, and they remained true to their creative spirit. And front and center of the band is their lead vocalist and songwriter, Joziah Longo. He hails from Philadelphia, and he grew up with a very healthy menu of traditional country, folk, and even mummers music with his father. He started performing professionally at the age of 13, doing Dylan covers, moved to New York City to pursue his artistic passions, and he's played everywhere from CBGB's to Carnegie Hall. He was even the first American songwriter invited to perform in mainland China in the early 90s, ending a ban on Western music in that country. Now, Joziah and Tink call Westchester County their home these days, but they have brought Slambovians and their music to concert halls and festival stages across North America and the UK, and I understand they're planning, hopefully, a return to the UK this summer. But tonight, we have them all to ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only, the man with the fabulous hats, Joziah Longo.
Hello, hello. Well, this was an honor. I thought this was going to be a simpler show than what it turned out to be. It's really big with fantastic artists and enough time to get very neurotic before you do your set. That's always very important to me. I've been having a little bit of a battle in my head between my two folk elements, which are, if the one side is, I used to, spend quite a bit of time in the village and did all the folk circuit, Folk City and the Speakeasy and all the different clubs there. So I had planned on doing a bunch of really cool protest songs. I wrote a couple new ones recently, but the ghost of Pete Seeger has been bugging me to do something that's got a sing along at the end. So I'll just do I'll do something that's not really, I don't know what it is. Whoop. This is electric. I turned it off. That's a good sign. I turned it off already. Okay, wait, let's try this again. Good luck, everybody. Got a very unusual head. Got a very unusual head. They will take him apart when he's dead. And his very unusual head, 'cause he's sorting through boring, predictable games that they play, with a glorious noise that can steal all our sad hearts away. Up through the atmosphere, very unusual head. Got a very unusual head. They will take him apart when he's dead, and his very unusual head. Yeah, they're following, swallowing everything he's got to say, but he's wallowing hollow and barely can get through the day. But he's coming back again. Better with the band. Yeah, he's rambling, scrambling, getting his ducks in a row. He's preambling, gambling, this time the whole thing will go up through the atmosphere. Got a very unusual head.
got a very unusual head. They will take him apart when he's dead, and his very unusual head. Trumpets. Everyone sing along, very unusual head. Got a very unusual head. They will take him apart when he's dead, and his very unusual head. Sing it again. Got a very unusual head. Got a very unusual head. They will take him apart when he's dead, and his very unusual head. Surely take him apart when he's dead, and his very unusual head. Okay. Oh, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much. Somebody's giggling. Thank you. That really feeds me. I appreciate it. Up to the very last minute, like I said, I was kind of changing songs. I have a tendency to do that. Tink was trying to keep a lid on it. And I wrote this song. It sounds like a pandemic song, but I wrote it before the pandemic. I really was thinking we needed some time out. You know, when you're bad, when you're a kid and your mother gives you time out, I felt like for all of us, we just needed a little bit of a time out or something, you know. And so I wrote this song called Step Out of Time, which kind of was about trying to step out of time and reassess things. And then the pandemic happened. I thought, oh, I must be like a prophet or something. You know, all of a sudden we were all stepping out of time and reassessing everything, which was a very good idea because I think we were rolling down the hill the wrong way there for a while. So I'll play you Step Out of Time. It's a tip of the hat to Pete Seeger. It steals a little bit from Pete, steals a little bit from Bob Dylan, steals a little bit from everybody on the folk circuit, and, you know, in the lyrics and the form of it, etc., etc. Here we go. I usually don't play without the band and I don't play so good, you know. I'm very fashionable. I wear these hats and stuff, and then I could stand in the middle of a really good band if I hire a really good band and look like I really know what I'm doing. But I get asked to do this. I thought it was like 4 or 5 people watching it, but so I hope I do okay. It could be the end of my career. Well, there it is. It's the end of my career. I gotta put this over here. It's hard to sit down and play too, isn't it? Yes. Here we go. Well, babies are grown-ups, children are old. Future is prison, past still untold. Hearts scream for love in a world that's gone cold. We gotta step out of time. Our bodies like Chevys, they are stronger than steel. Storms break the levees, truths are revealed. What should we save now? What should be healed? We gotta step out of time. Yeah, he walked the road till we called him the man. We flew like the doves and we slept in the sand, but we're still building cannons, making war plans. We gotta step out of time. Step out of time, step out of time. Let's get our bodies aligned with our minds. Let's get our minds aligned with our hearts. Maybe it's there we can start, yeah. China, families at home, they get the jobs and we just get the phones. But who gets the money? Throw the workers a bone. We gotta step out of time.
We're all from one mother, that's what they say. People of science and not just those who pray. So let's live for each other and become the way. We gotta step out of time. Step out of time, step out of time. Let's get our bodies aligned with our minds. Let's get our minds aligned with our hearts. Maybe it's there we can start, yeah. Step out of time, start it again. Love, not religion, enemies, friends. All of these isms and vanities end. We gotta make the world right. Yeah, we know enough to know what's really cool, to know what is mean and just what's not cruel. They say religion, but they're just evil's fools. They just can't fake it no more. Step out of countries, step out of pride, step out of worlds where the love is all died. Let's live for each other, ride the new tide. We gotta step out of time. Step out of time, step out of time. Let's get our bodies aligned with our minds. Let's get our minds aligned with our hearts. Maybe it's there we can start, yeah. Thank you. Whoever said yeah, thank you for saying yeah.
Testify.
I'm gonna. It was an amazing night of music. It was just fantastic, and then having Joe come on just now too was just such an inspiration. He's such a good painter. I don't know whether you've seen his stuff. It's quite amazing. He's a multi-dimensional. He's got a lot of different people working with him at the same time, I think, Joe. Right, Joe? I don't know whether I got anybody working with me tonight, but let's see. What are we gonna do? Okay. All right. I know what we're gonna do. Tink's here. She doesn't want to be on camera, you know. She didn't get dressed up for this thing. And we're, like I said, we're a very fashion conscious band. We're very into external, things like that. So, but we're playing in the UK. We're happy gigs are coming back. We're playing Falcon Ridge. Falcon Ridge is supposed to happen on the 31st of July, right? And then a week later, we're playing the Wickham Festival in the UK. And the week after that, we're playing Crop Ready, Fairport Conventions Festival at tea time on Friday. So, it's pretty exciting that music's coming back and we're all going to be able to get together again. So it's nice to be here with you guys, even virtually. It's nice to actually hear, like I said, people, they're clapping in the green rooms, so it really makes you feel like something's really going on here. Gotta turn Tink says, turn on the guitar, turn on the guitar. Tink's the boss of things. Here she. What am I playing? Okay. So we're going to play a song. This is the tip of the hat to all you surrealists out there. It's called Solve It All Daily. Put this down like that. Get this out of the way here. Okay. Who stretched the elephant's legs? I bet it was you. solve it all daily. Taught them to walk through the streets on stilted grey limbs like Barnum and Bailey. Who put the chicks in the tigers too? Now no one can keep them in the zoo. Why do you do what you do when you do what you do? Solve it all daily. Well, who turned Narcissus to stone? Fishes to phones that always call me. Who melted all the town clocks, hung them on rocks and limbs by the blue sea? Who put those drawers in your sister's chest? Had to retailor her favorite dress. Why do you make normal such a mess? What are you up to? Solve it all daily. Solve it all daily. Well, maybe behind that mustachioed mask, a black hole sucking everything in, making rules lose control, deconstructing dogmatic distractions that rule. Reason back to molecular dances and music of spheres that our ears used to hear before fig leaves and fear made us deaf, dumb, and blind to the beauty that really matters. Turned Mae West to a living room? Who elongated mom's favorite spoon? Why are your paintings so out of tune? Or is that the Wang Chung? Geopolitical child out by the wild, globe on the prairie, watching the birth of new man in the new land. Oh, it's pretty scary. He's in a world trapped by its points of view, and you always said true may not be true. You reread it all in the Dolly News, monarch of dailies. Solve it all. Solve it all daily. What great adventure will future hold? Once we have all learned to break the mold. Teach us your passionate, whimsical ways to solve it all daily. Solve it all daily. Solve it all daily. Solve it all. Thank you. Good night.
Woo!
Oh my gosh. That is just fantastic. You know, if your band ever needs a baton twirler, I'm your girl.
I heard.
Who is your earliest musical influence?
My dad and my grandfather. And, they both played. I grew up in South Philly, and my grandfather, he moved to, he was like an Italian that moved to the Irish neighborhood, and a couple of Irish guys taught him how to play guitar. I thought it was something that went back with the Italian end of things, but it didn't. And he learned to play guitar, and he started playing, the bars in South Philly. And he taught my dad to play at a real young age. And so they were like kind of jukeboxes, for everything, like all the flies through the air with the, stuff from the 20s and 30s and everything. So I grew up playing all that stuff, and my dad was also a mummer, pretty controversial thing in Philly, right?
I love them.
Went out in the Mummers Day Parade and played banjo, and my grandfather did too. And I did as a kid. I grew up doing that stuff, So that was, and, my earliest things that I remember are things like all the Hanks from old time, like Hank Williams and Hank Snow and all that. I learned that stuff first. And then the British invasion came, and my dad, stole that stuff off the radio. He had a reel-to-reel tape deck before people had them, And so I learned the Beatles stuff. So our stuff's a little bit of cross between old-timey Hank Williams stuff and the British invasion kind of stuff.
So if people want to find you online, where do they go?
They can go to Slambovian.com, and then that'll hook them up with everything. Yeah.
Well,
best of luck.
Best of luck with the rest of the summer.
Yeah, thank you. You too. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're
I hope I didn't mess
wonderful.
things up too bad.
And I love your hat.
Thank you.
So we've been listening to Joziah Longo of the Slambovian Circus of Dreams. And before that, it was Joe Crookston, Stella Price, Seth Glier, Neshama Carlebach, Steve Tilston, Declan O'Rourke, and Daniel Cainer. And all of these performers, we've all kind of lost our livelihood. And so I want to thank everyone who's been donating during the concert, because it gets split equally among all the performers, and it really, really helps. It's our grocery money. We got to keep going, because we want to connect with you again. And so thank you, all of those of you who've donated. And we're coming up to the shank of the evening. And our next performer, I decided I would quote Rich Warren. Rich Warren is one of the most respected folk DJs. He's kind of retired now. He, for many years, for decades, hosted Midnight Special from WFMT in Chicago. And now Marilyn Ray Beyer has the show. Hi, Marilyn, if you're watching. And this is what Rich Warren has said about our next performer. His artistry is nothing short of amazing. Dazzling picking, expressive voice, unique and interesting songs. He is a showman in the best sense of the word, and just wowed our audience. I think they would have followed him anywhere. So thank God he's not a cult leader. God knows what he could have us doing. Yep, and all of this is true. To hear this man is to love him. Please welcome Jack Williams.
Thank you so much, Christine. And thank you so much, Greenwich Village Folk Festival, for having me back to play one more round. You get to hear what my voice sounds like with a lot of oak pollen falling outside in Arkansas. Song about love. A woodpile is stacked behind the old shed. Beneath the dried bark, her lover is dead, a victim of gender and love for his maid. There's no one to cry for a black widow's fate. That love so natural, so pure and extreme. A little love like that can be a dangerous thing. The edge of the jungle is marked by the scent of a noble wild thing whose freedom was spent without cages or trainers or lights in its eyes. But if touch what is wild, be wary, be wise. That love's an illusion, a claw or a sting. A little love like that can be a dangerous thing. Can be a dangerous thing. So you honor your family with loyalty and trust. If favors are given, well, serve then you must. You serve without mercy, the deed must be done. And you serve out your time when the law finds the gun. That love is betrayal, seeking your ring. And let like that can be a dangerous thing. Beloved commander gets sand in his boots. The infidel rises, he charges and shoots. Our children do battle, their mothers be damned for the love of the oil in a faraway land. That love is betrayal, a lie or a scheme. A little love like that can be a dangerous thing. Oh, but I'll leap when I find it and speak it out loud. I'll climb to its center and fly through its cloud. I'll beg its forgiveness and laugh in its face. I'll deck you to heaven and dance in its place. That love is beginning, the spring and the dawn. A little love like that and the danger is gone. For love's the beginning, the dawn and the spring. A little love like that can make the wide world sing. Can make the wide world sing. Thank you. Been wanting to pull that one out for a while. It's been a song doesn't get played much, and I just thought it just needed to be aired out. Well, I suppose that you have quite an international spread of artists here tonight. I've heard some great music that I've never heard before, and I think that it's probably culturally as far from Greenwich Village as the UK or Ireland, Arkansas, where I am, and the Deep South, where I was born and raised. So I thought I'd sing a song about the Deep South. A song that I wrote thinking about my two little hometowns in northern South Carolina. As conservative as you can be. And when I say conservative, nowadays people think politics. I'm not talking just politics. I'm talking about every step of life. Everything you do has a time and a place, and by George, you do it that way, or else it's a betrayal of the culture. The cool thing about little southern towns is that, well, one of them, where my mother was born, has 200 people. The other, where my dad was born, has 700 people, and it's 2 miles apart. And cotton country, cotton fields, where I was raised. My granddaddy was a cotton farmer. And the cool thing about these little towns is that not everybody is of that conservative bent. There are just some oddballs. Every town has its oddballs. And even though the conservative majority tends to complain about them, it gives them something to do. It gives them something to complain about. And but they would just be lost without these oddballs. These are one or two great folks who I'm afraid I would be one if I had to live there. If I hadn't been an Army brat and been taken away with an early age, then probably I'd be considered one of these folks. But here's a song about mostly those unconventional peas under the mattress of the conservative majority. Behold a tin-roof cabin where the great loblolly stands. Their chicken tailor's daddy rubs the warts on both his hands. His oldest daughter, Tanya, the town called her a tramp. Night would fall, someone would call, and Tanya would light a lamp. Now Cedar Springs is sleepy, and it measures all its days by constant church bells ringing in dull and fearful praise. The streets are hot and empty until some vagrant breeze brings Tanya down to the fountain and the young men to their knees. The old wise men sit sweating outside the barber shop. They curse and blame the weather for every failing crop. And when mother's sons run crying from failures of the heart, Tanya's eyes and the devil's lies they can't seem to tell apart. Oh, life is strange and nothing changes. Let's go watch the fireworks on Eternity and Main. Now Charlie's retarded. He's the station master's son. He works down at the depot, but he swears at everyone. Tanya brings him flowers. She even lets him touch her hair. All the people say, well, they're just that way, and they no longer seem to care. And the Baptist preacher's daughter, she stands primping in the hall. She's dressed up like an ornament and she waits for him to call. She dreams of perfect babies, he just dreams of getting by. She'll never know his torture and he'll never see her cry. Oh, life is strange and nothing changes. Let's go watch the fireworks on Eternity and Main. Now if there's an imagination in the heart of Cedar Springs, it's hidden there in the whispers as incessant church bells ring. They say things like why that half-wit Charlie, he won't ever wash his hands. Well, now no one knows, 'cause no one goes where the great Loblolly stands. And there are herons at the hatchery. I've seen seagulls at the falls, and doodlebugs in the gardens where the chuckwills whittle calls. Life should be so simple, so decent and so plain. The preacher's daughter watches Tanya dancing in the rain. You know, Chicken Taylor's daddy went away quietly last spring. You know, all those warts had faded where he'd rubbed them with his ring. And Tanya still stands naked when the boys drive around her place. Through their howls and screams, they've never seen her sweet, sad, enchanted face. Oh, life is strange and nothing changes. Let's go watch the fireworks on Eternity and Main. Life is strange and nothing changes. Let's go watch the fireworks and the bats that live up in the bridges. and the greyhound riders snoozing, and the black folks out in their gardens, and the young girls in tight dresses, and their boyfriends racing tractors, and there's a new prisoner in the jailhouse, and there's a chain gang coming down the highway, and there's a mad dog at the river. Great day in the morning. Let's go watch the fireworks on eternity and man. Thank you. That's my little late movie going.
That should be a movie.
Well, it sort of is in my head. Because they're all real people, and I tried to change the names, but everybody from that area that's heard the song, oh yeah, I remember them. Yeah. So I can't go back there anymore. One more song here. This is another song that has not been aired out in many a year, but I found an old recording of a live performance I did of this in 1994, 5 or 6 at Bliss Fest up in the northern end of Michigan. And I decided that, first of all, I thought it was just a little too simple-minded for the folk circuit that I was embarking on at that time. I was just beginning to play. And then I listened to it and I thought, hell, that's me. That song is me. I need to be playing that song. And so I'm going to try to get it out and try to do it. And folks, by the way, you notice that every now and then my mouth opens and a word doesn't come out. That's because of the oak pollen. I want to assure you, though, that there was a word there in my mind. So even if you didn't hear it, there was a word. I live on the road. I've lived on the road for 62 years playing professionally. I felt sometimes like I was homeless, and sometimes I didn't actually have a building that was a home. I was traveling all the time. No, I've never been homeless, and I've come to know some homeless people and have worked together on some projects to put music together to raise awareness of homelessness. This is one of those songs. It's a little bit more frivolous, a little bit more abstract, but it's kind of from the point of view of a homeless guy. I got a rainbow tied around my finger to remind me to get out of the rain. I've got a wishbone from a rich man's table. Maybe I'll get lucky, but some turkey's day is done. I see old mudfish swimming in the river. He could show me the way back to the farm. I've got a rabbit foot swinging from the mirror. But as luck would have it, some rabbit lost a pitching arm. I've got Jesus Christ in the middle of the night. I got a cardboard box to sleep in. I got the county police, I got the golden fleece, but I sure could use a real friend. I'm thinking of going off the deep end. Think I'm going off the deep end. I've got a moonbeam spread across my table. I can't hold on to the things I love the best. I've got a horseshoe nailed above the doorway. I can't find no peace, and my horse can't get no rest. I've got Jesus Christ in the middle of the night, got a cardboard box to sleep in. I got the county police, I got the golden fleece, but I sure could use a real friend. Well, I think I'm going off the deep end. I see Vincent Price in my dreams at night, and I ain't got a pot to piss in. Like the War and Peace on the one-way streets, I sure could use a real friend. I think I'm going off the deep end. Think I'm going off the deep end. Thank you all very much. It's been great to be back with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jack Williams. That was terrific. Hey, Jack, I understand you're going to be doing some live shows in front of real people in June. Is that correct?
Yes, real people. I got 3 gigs in June. Going out to the Pacific Northwest in August, and some people, they're arranging outdoor shows, mostly, or in large open air indoor spaces. But I've also got, my secret is that I built a 6'4" by 7" transparent plexiglass barrier,
right,
which makes me look like a Walgreens cashier, but I can stand behind it and none of my audience can be bothered by the droplets that come from my unmasked singing.
Oh, that's great. It's sort of like those old in the Blues Brothers movie. Remember, they're all behind the chicken wire? Is that like a side?
Hey, I've done that, Ron. University of Georgia, 1963. KO,
wow.
ATO party.
Well, Jack, I hope we get to see you on the road real soon. And I hope our viewers tonight will go to your website, jackwilliamsmusic.com. Thanks again for being here, Jack.
Thank you very much, Ron.
Well, the Greenwich Village Folk Festival, we have another wonderful act coming up, and I just want to give you all a little information. The Greenwich Village Folk Festival was founded back in 1987 as a 501c3 organization, and the idea was to honor the music and legacy of Greenwich Village. The founding producers were Rod MacDonald, Ray Mysick, Jay Rosen, and Jerry Hinson, and they held annual concerts from 1987 through 94. They returned in 2020 with these wonderful online monthly concerts the first Sunday of the month. And coming up after our next performers, I think Rod MacDonald will be here to tell you about next month's show and a special show coming up on May 16th. Stick around to find out about that. And don't forget, you can this is a free concert, but you can still donate and help all these wonderful performers. This is a tough time for us all. It's good to hear performers getting back on the road, but they still have bills to pay. So any donation that you make goes to help these performers. Go to GreenwichVillageFolkFestival.org to click on the link. Or if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I'm sure you'll see the links right in there. And you can help us out, and we are all grateful. And thanks to everyone who's donated so far. Well, our final performance of the evening. I find it very hard to believe that they have been performing together for 4 decades. Where's the time flying? They met by chance at an open stage. Linda was a school teacher from Michigan, and Robin was a full-time musician, and they were both visiting their parents in South Carolina when they met at that open stage. And as the saying goes, they quickly discovered they made beautiful music together of all kinds. And those amazing harmonies have delighted audiences for years. They spent some time in Minneapolis where they recorded their first couple of albums. And they also made an appearance on a little radio show that was just starting out at the time. And they developed a relationship with Garrison Keillor and a Prairie Home Companion. And that brought them to even larger audiences and to all of our hearts. Now, as a DJ, I've always loved their albums, which kind of follow a basic template, but they never become formulaic. Their albums and performances blend together classic songs with some great contemporary songs, including their own original songs that have gone on to be recorded by artists like Emmylou Harris, Mary Black, the seldom seen Mary Chapin Carpenter, and that's just to name a few. We are honored to have them close out our wonderful concert tonight. Please give a warm welcome to Robin and Linda Williams.
Thank you very much. Hey, Ron, you're absolutely right. It's been a wonderful night of music, and we're just so proud to be here.
Just so proud to be here.
And hey, to Jack Wiz, before he decides to leave and head off to wherever he goes in Arkansas, it's nice to see someone else that was born and raised in South Carolina. That's me. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Technical problems. There we
It's
go.
nice to see someone else that was born in raised in South Carolina. Me, I was raised in eastern South Carolina. Any further east than where I was raised, I'd have been in the Atlantic Ocean. But I spent 4 glorious years out in western South Carolina, and I know from whence Jack comes. I hope someday we'll get to meet on the road or meet somewhere and talk over those glorious days in the Palmetto State. But that's another story.
That's another story.
We got a new CD coming out in this summer, and it's called A Better Day Coming, and we named it after this song here.
Song inspired by the writings of the great Frederick Douglass a few years ago. 1, 2, I just started.
You just started, yeah. And then I come in, right?
You come in when it's your leisure. At the end of another hard day, I look out over the bay for a glimpse at liberty's light in those big broad billows of white. When I see those proud ships sail away, my soul takes flight, and my sad heart is filled with grace, and hope burns bright. There's a better day a-coming, a better day a-coming, led by Father Abraham. Well, we'll all come running to the promised land. Well, I won't be praying for an early grave when there's no more masters and no more slaves. There's a better day a-coming, a better day a-coming, led by Father Abraham. Well, you shrouded ghosts at sea, so free to plow the deep, while I'm kept and confined in a life that isn't mine. Will you move wherever you must be in the Maker's unfolding design? So one day may He deliver me from the whip and bands of iron. There's a better day a-coming, a better day a-coming, led by Father Abraham. Well, we'll all come running to the promised land. Well, I won't be praying for an early grave when there's no more masters and no more slaves. There's a better day a-coming, a better day a-coming, led by Father Abraham. If I could soar through the sky to your safe mast, I would fly from these captive shores, take wing to hear the winds of freedom sing. Well, I'd never no more question why ships so smoothly sail, or birds effortlessly glide on a strong strong, steady gale. There's a better day a-coming, a better day a-coming, led by Father Abraham. Well, we'll all come running, yeah, we'll all come running, we'll all come running to the promised land. Well, I won't be praying for an early grave when there's no more masters and no more slaves. There's a better day a-coming, a better day a-coming, led by Father Abraham. There's a better day a-coming, a better day a-coming, led by Father Abraham.
Yeah!
For that.
Well, what
We'll
do you
do
wanna
you
say?
another song here off the new recording. We did this recording right here in our house in Stanton, Virginia, which is in the Augusta County, Virginia, in the western part of Virginia, in the Shenandoah Valley. And this is a song we have been playing together for a long time. Too many years to mention, of course, but we have friends, Jay and Molly, Jay Unger and Molly Mason, and they wrote this great waltz called the Lover's Waltz, and I just always have loved the Lover's Waltz. And I had some time this winter to sit and think about some things, and I thought, we should write a waltz. We haven't written too many waltzes.
No, we haven't.
And we should write a waltz, and we should call it the Old Lover's Waltz, which kind of pertains to us. We are. We could say ancient Lover's Waltz, but we just chose the Old Lover's Waltz.
48 years of marital bliss.
That's right. Never a crossword, never a harsh look. And but anyway, here it is, the Old Lover's Waltz. 1, 2, 3.
There's a touch of the past in the old lover's waltz. You can't play it too fast or the beauty gets lost. Each note has a purpose, each beat has a pause. There's so much that goes into the old lover's waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You learn how to follow, you learn how to lead. And when you're gliding with ease and stepping light, the old lover's waltz, you're doing it right.
It's not all laughter out there on the floor, but if it's true love you're after, you'll come back for more. For the pleasure is real and well worth the cost when you capture the feel of the old lover's waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You learn how to follow, you learn how to lead. And when you're gliding with ease and stepping light, the old lover's waltz, you're doing it right. Get to the end of the old lover's waltz, you'll be happy that you took the chance, and grateful you learned how to dance. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You learn how And when you're gliding with ease and stepping light, the old lover's waltz, you are doing it right. And when you're gliding with ease and stepping light, the old lover's waltz, you're doing it right.
The old lover's waltz.
Oh, it's perfect.
Guys, well, you know, we got a bunch of songs we could sing, but
What are we gonna
years
do
we're
next?
going to go on for the banjo, aren't we?
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to do what we talked about, Linda.
Well, I can remember the order here.
Okay. Back in 1980 something, when Stella was just a gleam in her parents' eyes, we heard this record by Leonard Cohen, and he had a song called "The Tower of Song." It was just it's a great song about songwriting and songwriters, and it's taken us from that time until now, close to 30 years, maybe even over 30 years, to work our way into the song, because Leonard's vocal style and his way of presenting songs is not anywhere close to ours. So we stayed with it. We were
We just
persistent.
felt like really what it needed was the old time banjo.
I'm sure that's what
was
Leonard.
lacking was the old time banjo.
Leonard, that's exactly what he needed.
So,
a banjo song,
that's
banjo
right,
on one
a
of his
banjo
tunes.
song.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
Anyway.
Are we in tune?
Amazingly enough. So, okay, the
So
Tower of Song.
Our version of his song called "The Tower of Song" about the songwriters. Okay.
And a great songwriter is mentioned in this
That's
song.
exactly right.
That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, my friends are gone. My hair is gray. I ache in places where I used to play, and I'm crazy for love, but I'm not coming on. I'm just paying my rent every day in the Tower of Song. I said to Hank Williams, how lonely does it get? Hank Williams hasn't answered yet, but I can hear him coughing all night long. 100 floors above me in the Tower of Song. Now I was born like this, I had no choice. I was born with the gift of a golden voice and 27 angels from the great beyond. They tied me to a table right here in the Tower of Song. Now you can stick those little pins in your voodoo doll. I'm very sorry, baby, it don't look like me at all. I'm standing by a window where the light is strong. They don't let a woman kill you in the Tower of Song. I know you say I've grown bitter, but of this you may be sure. The rich have got their channels in the bedrooms of the poor, and there's a mighty judgment coming, but I might be wrong. You see, you hear these funny voices in the Tower of Song. Now I can see you standing on the other side. I don't know how the river got so wide. I love you, baby, way back when. I feel so close to everything we've lost. We'll never have to lose it again. So I'll bid you farewell. I don't know when I'll be back. They're moving us tomorrow to that tower down the track. But you'll be hearing from me long after I am gone. I'll be speaking to you sweetly from the window in the Tower of Song. Oh, well, my friends are gone. My hair is gray. I ache in places where I used to play. And I'm crazy for love, but I'm not coming on. I'm just paying my rent every day in the Tower of Song. I'm just paying my rent every day in the Tower of Song.
Tower of Song. There's Cohen. The song that mentions Hank Williams is a good song.
Hey guys, we had a great time. It was a great evening for us, just being able to sit here and listen to this music as usual at a folk festival. If we didn't feel so inspired, we'd be intimidated and quit. And so,
Well,
it's
instead of quitting,
really
can we
good
get you to do
night.
one more
And,
song for
Ron,
us?
thank you for the nice introduction. Christine, it's great to see you again.
Yeah, it's great.
I remember standing in our hometown here, Stanton, Virginia, having a conversation with you 10 years ago or so. And
Well, we want
you
an
look great.
encore.
Everybody sounded great.
Yeah, we want you guys. Can you guys do one more song for us?
Oh,
Instead of quitting?
Well, sure.
Well,
Why we would just love to.
we would just
Good.
love to.
What could we possibly do?
Well, let's see. Okay.
Actually, we have a beautiful old traditional song that we have arranged and recorded on our new record. It's a duet, an a cappella song.
And what's the name of that record, Linda?
It's called A Better Day A-Comin'.
A Better Day A-Comin'.
And all of these songs are on it. We didn't do one old song. So anytime you're looking for somebody to come back and do it, we'll do you some of our old songs.
We have a bunch of CDs, so
this will
we
be-
can do other songs besides the new songs. RobinandLinda.com, please, folks. RobinandLinda.com, www, the ever popular www, RobinandLinda.com. You can find out more about us than you'd ever want to know. And again, we thank
It
you.
has been great to have. Thank you so much for having us.
And here comes from the coast down in South Carolina. Here comes one of those, an old gospel song.
Done found my lost sheep. Done found my lost sheep. Done found my lost sheep. Hallelujah. I done found my lost sheep. Done found my lost sheep. Done found my lost sheep. My Lord had 100 sheep. One of them did go astray. That just left him 99. Go to the wilderness and seek and find. And if you find him, bring him back. Across your shoulders and across your back. Tell your neighbors all around. That lost sheep has sure been found. Done found my lost sheep. Done found my lost sheep. Done found my lost sheep. Hallelujah. I done found my lost sheep.
done found my lost sheep. Done found my lost sheep. In that resurrection day, sinner can't find no hiding place. Run to the mountain and the mountain move. Run to the hill and the hill run too. Sinner man traveling on trembling ground. Poor lost sheep ain't never been found. Sinner, why don't you stop and pray? You might hear your shepherd say, done found my lost sheep. Done found my lost sheep. Done found my lost sheep. Hallelujah, I done found my lost sheep. Done found my lost sheep. Done found my lost sheep.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Wow. It's nice to back and bass with you, and Greg, it's nice to finally meet you. So thank you so much. This has been a great experience for us.
What a great concert, everybody. Thanks so much to all of you folks. Ray, Robin, and Linda, great stuff. You know, hey, Robin?
Yeah.
On Tower Song, you know, have you ever seen Leonard Cohen's video of that when he takes his hat off and he gets down on one knee?
Yeah. My friends are gone.
My friends are gone.
Is great. Yeah. And the singer's in the background. Do la la la.
They do run, run, run. They do run, run, run.
That's it.
I mean, someone should. If you should
the
go.
Isle of Wight concert. That's what you want to go look at if you're looking for Leonard Cohen.
Well, that doesn't have that song on it. But.
Well, I know, but you can't get them all. Or you can buy the box set.
And how you know how about our tech guy? You know,
Yeah,
Mr. O'Sullivan, Brandon
Yes,
O'Sullivan. Man,
That's what I'm here to do, is to thank everybody involved tonight.
Efficient as he is, I mean, it's just dealing with all us guys. He's a miracle. So I'm gonna send him some. Somebody send me his address. I'm gonna send him some business cards that say expert. Okay, so thanks a lot, guys.
Great to see you, Rod, and have some chance to talk with you this week. Thanks for setting this up for us.
It's great to talk with you guys too. Well, listen, my job here is to do exactly what you just said and to thank some folks. First of all, let's thank our sound engineers, both Brandon O'Sullivan and Greg Greenway, who are responsible for the really wonderful professional level of the music here. Let's also thank our artists. Let's go in reverse order. Robin and Linda Williams, Jack Williams, Joziah Longo, Joe Crookston, Stella Prince, Seth Glier, Neshama, Carlebach, Steve Tilston, Declan O'Rourke, Daniel Cainer. Those guys may have long left us and gone back to sleep. I see Declan's still on with us. If you're there,
hey, Declan.
Party soul, Declan. Good, a good spokesperson for the folk guys being up at 3 o'clock in the morning here. Also, I want to thank Jerry Kornbluth and Andrea Klosky, of course, for our web work, and my co-producer Raymond Misek and myself. I'm Rod McDonald, and all these wonderful artists. A spectacular concert. It just keeps getting better and better. I don't know how to say it other than that, but every week, every month, it totally blows my mind how good the music is. I want to mention that we have a special mid-month concert in 2 weeks from tonight, May 16. We're doing a concert in honor of Bob Dylan's 80th birthday. We're doing it in conjunction with the annual Dylan Fest event at the Long Island Museum in Stony Brook, New York. And since they can't have people in their facility during this pandemic, they asked the Greenwich Village Folk Festival if we would partner with them in putting on an event. So on May 16 at 7 p.m., we're going to have a tribute concert for Mr. Dylan, in which a whole lot of people are going to sing his songs. Joziah Longo is going to be one of them. Hey, Joziah. Greg Greenway also will be in it. Dave Massengill, Cliff Eberhardt, Rebecca Loby, Pete and Maura Kennedy. It's a pretty long list. Noel Paul Stuckey, Rob Stoner from the Rolling Thunder Review, the original bass player. Cliff Eberhardt, did I say him? And I'll probably get lost if I try to say too many more. But we're going to be posting the entire lineup very shortly on our Facebook page and our website. So take a look. That's May 16. We'll also be back June 6 with our monthly concert, first Sunday of the month. And I don't think we're quite ready to announce who's in that yet, but we will soon. And I especially, of course, want to thank our on-air MCs, Ron Olesko and Christine Lavin, who keep things moving in such a wonderful way. In fact, I'm going to say goodnight and let you guys say goodnight to everybody, and then we're going to turn the stream feed off. So if you're listening at home, thank you very much for staying with us. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget you can still donate at paypal.me/GVFF2020.
And Rod, can you tell them there's also a way they can send a check if they're old school? There's an address.
Yes, it's on the website. I don't know the address off the top of my head, but it's
I
there.
don't either.
It's on the Facebook page.
I'll find it.
Okay.
I'll tell you, is this a together organization or what?
Thank you, Brandon.
Brandon is a together organization.
Before you stop, I have an idea for Robin and Linda. Are you really married for 48 years?
Yeah, well, in June 2nd, it'll be 48 years.
Well, Peter, Paul, and Mary celebrated their 25th anniversary for 3 years in a row. So I think what you guys should do is have a worldwide fan cruise and go all around the world for 3 years and have all of us come with you.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Just an idea.
Well, you know, when you have your 50th anniversary tribute concert, I want to be in it.
Well, yeah, and if everybody drops out of the Dylan concert, call us, okay? Because we know we're into Bob.
Are you? Well, maybe we can. Well, let's talk about that after we go offline.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm going to say goodnight, and thanks to everybody who tuned in and everybody who participated for such a wonderful night, and leave it to Ron and Chris
Great job,
to
you guys.
say goodnight before we cut the stream off.
Thanks, Rod. What a night. I've been looking. We're also streaming this on folkmusicnotebook.com, and it amazes me. We have so many people from around the globe watching this: Israel, Turkey, Brazil, Australia, and of course here in the U.S. and Canada. This is just such an amazing event, and we should remind people that they can also watch this on the archives. All the wonderful Greenwich Village Folk Festivals are there. Check out their YouTube page and their website. Chris, I don't know. This does keep getting better every month. I mean, I don't know where's it going to end. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty great tonight. Thank you, Robin and Linda, for just capping it off so beautifully.
Thank you.
And invite me on your cruise.
Well, I guess we should say goodnight now. For everybody who's watching tonight, thank you so much for tuning in and viewing this. Be sure to tell your friends to join us next month, and also May 16th, Dylan Night, right here at the Greenwich Village Folk Festival. And I promise I won't do that night, okay? Anyway, Chris, thanks. It was always a pleasure to be with you. It's such a treat, and I'll see you soon.
Okie doke.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Night.